Good morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America, and hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. If you're joining me, please do say hello in the comments so I know who is here. I wanted to take a moment before we jump into my card today to remind you that we are down to the last couple of days for the Perfect Partners, which are sets of coordinating dies for stamp sets that don't have dies in the catalogs, and they are only available through Friday. They go with Apple Harvest, Fresh Cut Flowers, the Playful Piggies, this Birthday Piggy stamp set, Trimming the Tree, Waterfall Canyon, and Yeti to Party. And like I said, they're only available through Friday, and then they go away. You can still get the stamp sets, but you can't get the coordinating dies. And if you have one of the stamp sets or you're thinking about getting one, I imagine you'll want coordinating dies. So there's that. And then I also wanted to remind you, if you are here in Australia, especially if you're here in Melbourne, Saturday is World Card Making Day. I encourage everybody to make a card and send a card wherever you are. But if you're here in Melbourne, I invite you to come over to my place, and I will have a couple of cards available for you to make, and you can either take them with you, or if you bring names and addresses, I will provide stamps, because really we need to make cards and send cards. So I will enable you to do that. And if you bring a project you've been wanting to work on, or pack of paper you've been nervous to cut into, or anything that you have that you want to work on with a couple of hours of crafting time, bring it along. You can make use of my stamps, inks, some of my other tools and supplies, and get her done and have a fun chat with people while you're doing it. I'm hoping I've got a couple of new people coming. I've posted this on my local meetup group, and I had a couple people respond positively. So yeah, I'm looking to have a fun afternoon with this. And you may hear Noah in the background deciding to have a little bit of zoomies, so that's fun. Okay, so my card today, I'm going to use this Trees for Sale, whoops, banging things around here, Trees for Sale stamp set. It is from the July to December mini catalog, and during celebration they had these tree lot dies that coordinate with it, and I snapped those up. Here in Australia, as you know, Christmas is a summer holiday, so we aren't going to be using any of the snow features. But people do buy trees, and people do like to go camping at Christmas. So I found this a really appropriate set for my current life here. So I had an idea. I've started a few pieces of it. I'm going to do some vellum, and I'm going to emboss that. I'm going to stamp up some of these trees, and I'm using some softer, I wanted to call it contemporary, but you know, if I was doing a lot of pinks and blues, that would be more contemporary. But I'm just doing softer, more summery colors, I suppose, than the rich, deep greens and reds that we think of for a traditional Christmas. So I'm going to do a little more stamping, and then I'll get into the embossing and assembling. So this set has the 2-layer, this says that it cut out, so I'm going to start again. Now my phone says it's still going, so I'm going to see whether it shows up again as still broadcasting. Yeah. Okay, it looks like it's still broadcasting. I don't know if it blanked out for anybody else or just me or what. So I'm going to keep going. Please send me a signal that you're still getting me here. So it's got the two-step stamping trees, 3 different sizes. So we're going to stamp some of those. I've done 2 of the large one. I'm going to do a couple of the medium and small ones. And I usually start with the solid. That's probably too close. I'll bring in another piece of paper. It may not be too close. Second one of those. Still working there. Good. I'm just going to presume it's all good and it was just my reception on my monitor that was bad. I'm going to do 2 of these. Now this is soft seafoam and it is very light, but it works quite well actually behind the Pear Pizzazz that I'm putting on top. And I have now tried this both ways. It doesn't matter if you do the solid first or the top layer first. I mean, obviously I'm calling it the top layer, but it really doesn't matter which one you do first. Some people might find it easier to line up doing this one first, and others might find it easier doing the solid one first. I guess I'll call it the branch detail, and I'll show you what I mean. I'll do some branch detail first here. And then come in with the there we go. So it really doesn't matter which one you do first. And then I wanted to do one of the trees for sale sign. My first instinct was to go for early espresso, but I'm lightening up the color palette, so I went with soft suede instead. And I'm going to do some of the tree stands. Okay. So now I've got a bunch to cut out. And I'm going to grab my mini. See how that works on camera. And bring in my dies. There's one. Whoop, I dropped one. I like how they have started putting multiples of many of these small ones in the set. It makes it much less tedious. Oh my goodness. So there are 2 stands, 1 tree. Yeah, sorry I didn't get some of these cut out in advance, so you get to watch the whole thing here. But so, Renata, are they saying that you're going to get some of the hurricane's after effects later in the week? Up there in, what, you're in South Central Virginia, I think? Hello, Roseanne. Nice to see you. Doing some die cutting with my tree lot dies on my trees for sale images. Bring in some of this Post-it tape. Oh, well, it held it there as long as it needed to. I am dropping everything today. Oh my goodness. That one on there. Dare I try all 4 at once? Sure. Two to 3 inches of rain, but minimal wind. Yeah, that's what I would expect by then. I bet, hi Mom, I bet you're going to get some rain later in the week too from the remnants of the hurricane. So now I've got my die cutting finished, I believe. Oh, except for one thing that I just realized I hadn't cut in advance. Let me grab it. I think I need a circle. Let's see if this will fit through there just. This is a Stylish Shapes circle, so it's got the faux stitching around it. It comes on this package. There we go. That's all of them. Okay, and then the one thing I have left to do before we start assembling is do the embossing on the vellum I talked about. So this is the Whimsical Woodland 3D embossing folder. And because it is 6 inches wide, it will not fit through the mini. I'm going to throw it in my full-size one here off camera. And this is why I tell people who are trying to figure out which cut and emboss to get first, that if you're only going to get one, get the big one, so you don't have disappointment that you can't use everything you want to. So there it is, and I imagine you can't see that so well on the white, but on there, how fun is that? I've used this a couple of times already this year. It's a little bit long, so once I get it on there, I will trim it off. And what I'm going to do is take some tear and tape at this end, because one of the problems with vellum is that you can usually see your adhesive through it. So you want to kind of hide it. This isn't so bad when it's embossed, but you'll see when I put it down. No, not really. I may wind up putting some more there, but I'm going to start with just that piece for now. I'm going to bring in my little guillotine trimmer. And I'm going to trim it off flush there. There we go. Saturday and Sunday for you. Yeah. Yeah, that has made news here along with the typhoon that's hitting Vietnam, which I'm sure hasn't made the news in the US. That's okay. Okay, so my vision is to put that there. And a collection of the trees. Oh, that's the same size. I want these guys on stands, because you know when you go to a tree lot, they have figure out how to do this here. Oh, in Illinois, we used to go to a tree farm and cut our own. So they had some that were pre-cut and were on stands, and then you could go out in the field and cut your own. So that's kind of what I'm working on evoking here. So I'm just taping some of these tree stands to the back of the trees. That was really wonky. Not that they aren't wonky at tree stands, but this one. So a friend of mine from the neighborhood where I grew up, and my parents still live, now lives in the Tampa area, although inland, so he's not worried about storm surge, but he and his son put up hurricane shutters yesterday, and he was posting on Facebook. Okay, so now I'm going to figure out how I want this, because I want the sign on there too. You know, you have this vague vision in your head when I start out in the morning. And I like the idea, but then getting it to actually come together. We're headed in the right direction, I think. And we're going to have some off in the field here somewhere. Too much. I think I like that better. Getting there. Okay. So I am liking that. I am going to put a little more of the tear and tape because that's going to get covered up and I can't really see it, which is a good thing. Tear and tape is just really nice, strong double stick tape. Stays right on there. Gonna get these on here with some dimensionals. Noah and I get to hang out alone yesterday, today, tomorrow, really till Friday evening. Glenn is in Sydney. Meeting with people and teaching some executive ed later in the week, and he had a dinner with board directors last night, and doing good stuff. He invited me to go with him, but I'm busy this week. But he has to go up, I think 4 more times, he said, in the next, 3 or 4 months. So I'll go with him at least one time. So there's that. Now I could just do that and call it quits. And not what do we think? Or even just that. I'll wait for you guys to chime in. Do a little cleanup over here on the side. Without the extra trees. Yeah, I'm leaning that way. Do you like it with or without the sign? I'm getting silence. So I'm going to leave it like that because I kind of like that. And I'm going to put a sentiment on the inside, I think. So thank you all for joining me. Without sign, yes. Mom is being very emphatic about that. Okay, I will be back same time, same place next week. Thanks for joining me today. And yeah, I will see you again. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.